Hello and welcome back to Tranquility EU, where we are in the Discord tier yet again. It is do or die tonight as we are in the losers bracket of Discord. The winner continues, but the loser is gone. Vamos. Bye bye. Cha cha. No longer will you see them. So it's really, win this or go home. It's really, winner takes all here. So it is Deathwatch versus Dragon's Aura. My name's Gio, and I'm joined by Frostachu. What are your thoughts on this matchup and the wider bracket?
Well, let's see, Gio. So, as you said, yeah, do or die. This is quite literally the definition of go big or go home. So, there's that to play for here. As you'll see in a moment when we get to looking at the bracket and such. And if you've been paying attention to the season, you'll note Deathwatch was in the upper bracket. They were the favorites to win, having not lost a single match coming into in the regular season, coming into this into these playoffs. So now coming off their first loss this entire season, so that's going to be a really tough thing to come from there. Your first loss. I mean, I'm sure they're a team that's maybe had losses and stuff in the past. You know, they've played teams that are better than them. But in this tournament, being the first season of this tournament, right, they've got to make sure that their mental stays on point here. Not too dissimilar from Dragon's Aura, who actually lost their previous match in this Discord tier EU bracket to Berserk, who then pulled out of the competition. So Dragon's Aura being given a second lifeline here, and it will be really, really big for them to make that to make it that worthwhile.
Yeah. It would be shocking for me, and I imagine many viewers as well, if Deathwatch actually gets eliminated here, because they were undefeated, right? They went through the regular season with absolute strength and ferocity, and now they find themselves in these position. Sorry, I'm still getting the Halloween out of me. Apparently Dracula overtook my farm there. But yeah, Deathwatch, they were undefeated. Now they're in the losers bracket against Dragon's Aura. You can do as well as you want, right? But if you're going to be like Philadelphia Fusion and not do well in the playoffs, then that's going to be tough. Yeah, it was actually Mythical Kitsune that beat them.
Yeah, Mythical Kitsune taking them out there. I mean, Mythical Kitsune, another really, really strong team in this tournament. I think they've also only dropped maybe one or two matches. Obviously, losing to Deathwatch in the regular season, coming back in the playoffs now, and so we will see that finals, champions bracket, shall I say, winners final. There you go, good word. Between Mythical Kitsune and Feeders United, also happening tonight. So. They will be, the teams going. Well, I think it's actually, they will be the teams duking it out there to book themselves a place in the final and to knock their opposite into the lower bracket, making them fight to come back to play them. So another big matchup there. But obviously, we are going to be focusing on the Sparkly Dragons versus the Edgy Boy Deathwatchers. And yeah, I'm looking forward to a very good match as the teams get themselves ready in the lobby.
Yes.
Yeah. Our first map is going to be Nepal.
Okay, yes. I like that. I do like that. There was rumors it was going to be Ilios and I was going to have an absolute rant. I've come to the conclusion that Ilios Well is the worst map in Overwatch, but that's not for now to discuss, as we're heading up to the Himalayas for some monk action. And what do you think in terms of like outlook here for the compositions with these teams on this map?
Well, if it is Nepal, which I'm really hoping that I won't, I didn't jump the gun there. We do see quite a few different styles here. We see a lot of that brawl, especially on this map you can see on your screen now, being Shrine, and also sometimes the brawl on Village. Whereas the more pokey comps tend to be more prominent on the map Sanctum. So we will have to see teams adjust or just hard stick to their picks, which I haven't seen Deathwatch do. Deathwatch seems to be quite an adaptable team, very much focused on their brawl style. I think that is their strength, but very happy to flex over to other styles as well. So I'm expecting maybe more of Zarya Winston compositions coming through from Deathwatch. Dragon's Aura, I'd imagine, would match that, but obviously they'll see if they can bring their own flavor into it.
Absolutely, and these players taking their time getting into the map, but we will eventually get there. Best of 5 tonight, first to 3. So this could be a long one, and you know both these teams are very capable and of course very hungry to go the distance. So it is going to be an entertaining bout for sure. Oh, there's a hole in that roof.
There is.
Was there always a hole in that roof?
Is there a hole there, or is it just like a very minor dent? Because I did see the same thing you saw, but I'm not sure if that's a hole or if that's just like a small little dent. Yeah,
Love
we are
these
still waiting.
cinematics. These are so good.
A little bit of cinematics. Exactly. I think the skybox on that map is actually lower than that, so you would never really be able to see it regardless. So there's that. We will see the players just getting themselves ready in lobby here. I think everyone is just about in, just waiting for the last players to accept and get their use their little hand warmer thingies. Obviously, being professional gamers and such,
Yes.
getting their headsets wired, gaming chairs activated, and making sure that this is going to be a good, fun, clean, and exciting game.
And of course, it's worth remembering if you've been watching the Overwatch League, we're not yet on the patch that they are. So Zarya has not been nerfed yet.
Neither has Genji.
Neither has Genji. That's the saddest nerf of the game so far. I could write an essay about how bad they are at balancing that hero, but
like to be fair, you're a tank player yourself. I'm a support player. I have although I feel sorry for Genji mains, I also really don't, because they've been making my life a living hell in ranked and in scrims and just in general, and they will continue to do so until November 15th, halfway through this month. And yeah, it looks. I would say
it's the nano blade that's the biggest issue, though. Would you not say? Like not the neutral shurikens. Like sure, maybe they were a little overtuned, but to reduce their damage by 2. And like
it's a big break point. I will agree with you there. I think it is very heavy. I think the reason that they did that is because Genji's current mid-fight potential is incredibly incredible. So they wanted to bring that down. I don't think they have an issue with the blade. They're happy with the blade being able to get the value that it does. I think they're more worried about him just being able to dash in neutral, get a kill, get 2 kills, and then just leave. I think that's more the issue. But yeah, see what we're coming through here. But as we say this, looking at the teams we have currently on our screen, it's looking like Dragon's Aura is wanting to try out the current Owl meta composition. Not sure what Deathwatch is hovering here, but looking like they're going to go over to a brawl style with the Bastion.
They haven't switched it. They're keeping it. It's a Bastion Winston comp, folks, here on the side of Deathwatch. This is a little bit cookie, a little bit crazy, but can they get it done? Well, Deathwatch has immediately lost Ronan, who was, I think, just completely sectioned off there. Didn't quite get what they wanted and just burst apart. Yeah,
Ronan got got burst there. I think a bit of a staircase diff there, unfortunately, managed to get themselves just out of line with the door frame, so when they try to back up, just got stuck and shame.
Yeah, I think maybe that's why we're pausing. Maybe.
Yeah.
I want to hope, because I was almost going to say he got walled off, right? But he didn't.
There's no Mei in the game right now, so there is no possibility of being walled off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Mei is just yeeted. I forgot about that.
Yes, they disabled Mei, broke her kneecaps. And she is now in recovery ICU. We're praying for a full recovery. I take that back. We're praying for a recovery. to come.
The next
to come
one will
through.
be Brig. I think
Yeah.
the next hero that's gonna get yeeted will be Brig.
Why?
I
Why,
think
Gia?
I've seen a bug where Kuriko Kitsune Rush reduces the cooldown of the barrier. If the barrier
Yeah.
Brig is broken, it doesn't go to 0, it goes to 1. And if you get it back faster, there's a chance that it comes back with 1 HP, and it's an infinite 1 HP. So you have an infinite shield that doesn't break. I've seen that bug floating around. I don't know how prevalent it is, but that is possible.
Well, I'm noticing a lot of these alts seem to have a connection to Kariko's alt. There's another one with Wrecking Ball, where so Wrecking Ball's overshield health, the one that he gets from being in the enemies. If his it lasts for I can't remember the exact time, for like 4 or 5 seconds. I think it lasts for 5 seconds and has an 8-second cooldown. So in Kitsune Rush, that's cooldown is reduced by half, so it now lasts 5 seconds and has a 4-second cooldown. Right, so you can see there's that, and if the second usage of that E ability within that 5-second period is less than the first, he permanently has reduced health until you switch the character. Death does not remove this.
Yeah, that
You
is
have
an
to
issue.
switch the character.
I also want to say there's breaking news right now.
Yeah?
There'll be an early look at the next hero tomorrow.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Tomorrow on the Overwatch League Grand Finals, we'll get a sneak peek at that next hero, who I believe is a tank. Right? They said that the next hero is a tank.
Yeah.
That could really change things in terms of the meta.
Yeah. Getting back to the match here, it actually
Oh,
was
it's
a
map
lag
reset.
issue. Map reset, yes. Death Watchers tank their Ronin, having some lag issues, unfortunately. Actually being changed out here for Termi 120. They're
That's
very
unfortunate.
kind of Dragon's Aura to allow for that switch, because within the rules you can actually ask for a map forfeit with that. Dragon's Aura, as I said, wanting to make this wanting to make this a more fun and fair match.
Yes.
Which already I have massive respect. Good work there.
Yeah, there
Will
are
Death
some
Watch-
places. Sorry to interrupt. There are some places where the rules are a little bit meaner and force teams to fight. Well, 6v5 it used to be, but I guess 5v4.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and I think really good at the teams, to use their discretion and that. We will see pretty much mirrored comps here. We see a Sojourn in place of a Sombra for Dragon's Aura, and a Zarya in place of a Winston. Once again, Dragon's Aura going super aggro there at the start.
Oh, and yeah, that disruptor field is very lethal there. But you don't want to be going right into a Reaper. If you're a Winston, Overmars is going to find Georgie. And hold on, the turnaround, the Reaper actually making this possible that this fight could swung, but they're not going to commit to it, and it will be the first point going to Dragon's Aura.
Dragon's Aura, yeah, just getting the aggression there, and actually a beautiful anti-net to set up that kill there. Overmars punishing Geodri's hubris there, and also getting the kill onto Sandura. Maybe actually benefiting, talking about this, Overmars is the first one picked off there, so Chomi should be the spot of bother here.
Yeah, and that Zarya is under a lot of pressure with the Kuriko TPing in to get that healing onto Termi. And that was a very keen pick there by Itachi onto Overmars, because Overmars was the one that really almost swapped that first fight as they're just teeing off here. I think that was a Translocator found, which will be known to Meowth as this fight is going to be begun here with a dive into the back line. That Ana is in a lot of trouble. UBL will go down, but Overmars is going to trade it out. Now, that Kuriko, a little bit deep, will actually escape there. It's a little bit back and forth, the points being slowly switched, but you see the players of Dragon's Aura returning to the point to try and touch. They don't in time, and it's actually a Blossom invested there by Overmars to secure that fight.
I'm gonna need a fact check here, but I think Overmars actually over the course of that fight got all five players. I do stand to correction there. And yeah, as you said, at the start of the fight, they actually checked Meowth and got the Translocator, so forced Meowth out of the fight for a lot longer than would be than they would have liked there. But Meowth does now mean that there comes.
Oh, big EMP is gonna hit. Well, actually, just
Hello?
one player there. But the Blossom from a Canyon, that's what you want to see. Those Blossoms are so very brutal in this day and age. Even without that Kitsune Rush, they are getting lots of value. Of course, back in the day, you could so easily stun it, but with less CC, it's less likely. This fight is continuing on point, but it is Dragon's Aura just slowly whittling down the defense of the Death Watch, and it will rated over 50-50 on the board.
50 indeed. And yeah, we'll look there and see, but it seems to be a bit of a disconnect at the moment between Meowth and the rest of the team as to that engagement timing coming through. You know, that grab coming through, then the beat, and then kind of like, I should EMP this. But maybe a little disconnect there. We'll see 3 ultimates there, but there comes the Kitsune Rush to start this off.
Yeah, Kitsune Rush, very dangerous ultimate in combination with pretty much everything. Isn't finding too much here in terms of elimination. Has created a lot of space though for the side of Death Watch. That's Termi gonna find Dispatch there, and yeah, now all of the eliminations coming through as Dragon's Aura will fall. Wasn't a quick follow-up in the Kitsune Rush, but it definitely snowballed from there.
I think Kitsune Rush, I think, just forcing out a lot more resources than Dragon's Aura was willing to depart with, and to their own detriment. There, we will see them. They did use the Primal Rage, getting burnt down there. We only really have the Kitsune Rush on the opposing side now, which looks like they're going to go straight to point and probably use that as soon as the team tries to aggress there. Itachi are taking care of UBL, but before they even need to do that, though.
Kitsune Rush right into a Graviton Surge Blossom, though. That's not what they were looking for. Dragon's Aura fall apart. Death Watch with a single Blossom absolutely turn it apart. And Termi with a very good Graviton Surge.
A really good grab there, and the Blossom. I mean, you've got to think Dragon Aura knew that was coming, and probably just banked entirely on that Kitsune Rush. Someone's going to need to touch that. It looks like Geodry is going to leave their team to dry in the backline, but will Meowth manage to secure that kill? No, they will not.
And Giffany Meowth, that's a good elimination because that EMP was ready. Now, Overmars looking to trade it up in the backline, causing a lot of damage. Will find that Lucio, but now getting chased himself. Needs to watch the headshot of that Kunai, and it will be the opposing Reaper finding them. Looks like Dragon's Aura will be swapping this point over. Termi trying to stall out there, and UBL has actually found an elimination there onto Tatchier. The ability to take this one is getting much more likely. Oh no, the Blossom isn't what they wanted. It got absolutely caught out there. Now, with the beat, that's pretty much going to secure it. Needs to swap the point over still. It's 99-99 here. Don't think anyone can touch. Looks like they are going to go for it, but yeah, just in time. And yeah, Kiriko just touches the point. Coming back off of Pharah. Curious choice, as you know you need to be on point. That's not really going to work out, especially against a Reaper. And this ball's just going to get constant perma-hacked, and there we have it. Death Watch, 199. If this is an indication of how this match is going to be for the rest of these maps, this is going to be back and forth.
This is, yeah, back and forth so much there. And like, it looked like Dragon's Aura, they had themselves pretty much in the bag there, and then that big EMP from Overmars there, honestly MVPing that round pretty much every single fight. Overmars getting at least 2 kills. The main fight that they took away from that was when Overmars was actually picked off first, and then Dragon's Aura took control for a while. So let's see if they can continue to rely on their Reaper as they are. Geodry obviously playing Winston, gonna be in a spot of bother with regards to that. But I think as of right now, the actual issue is that Dragon's Aura are not punishing UBL, who's just able to sit back and pump in the healing, pump in the damage for the Zarya. And it just means that there's so much more pressure for Dragon's Aura. I mean, from Deathwatch, so I say, as they get into this fight here. Termi just holding up in charge.
Yeah, that extra sustainability is really going to help the Zarya unless they go too deep against Ankia. But that turnaround there by Overmars is going to allow this recontest here on the point. Dragon's Aura did have it kind of under wraps, but hold on. Tatchier is going to find the 2 eliminations very key here. What incredible performance here by Tatchier, finding so many of these eliminations. think if finding OBL, yeah, that's 4 eliminations there in that fight for Itachi alone.
Yeah, and I think had Meowth stayed in the fight, Itachi would have probably killed them as well. I think they were half health, and Itachi had I think being checked. Itachi catching Meowth out, forcing out that translocate, so meaning that Meowth does not have vision. We'll get back into it quite soon, but will they check them again? No, didn't outside. We will see Geodry here positioning for this, being pressured a lot by Overmars though, as forced to jump out.
Yeah, that pressure is big against the Winston, especially with this Reaper from over Mars as they push forward. But again, with that railgun, Itachi's on the next level right now, especially if this overclock popped here, looking to get the head there of UBL. Needs to watch out for this blossom by over Mars. It is awesome. It's a blossom, and that is the
It's the point switch here, and the DPS battle between Overmars and Itachi is such a key one to look out for at this point in time. Itachi, I mean, Overmars, shall I say, in a quite an interesting position there for a Reaper that doesn't have Blossom, that has just used their Blossom. Maybe getting ready for the grab here from Tommy as the team comes through. So anything I can really imagine does happen here. And let's see if they do it. No, they just rush straight through, and there's Itachi once again with an opening pick.
Ooh, that grab into EMP combo, very strong. You could argue they may be overinvested, but that Kitsune rush is nothing to be snubbed at.
No, yeah, that normally that Casino Rush is actually almost like a press Q to win button. So the fact that they, maybe they should have invested 3 ults, as you said, maybe 2 was enough, but the fact that they managed to get it out of Dragon's Aura is actually a massive point here. Only really the beat to come through, but nothing really to counter that. So with Meowth being pushed out here, this is a great opportunity for Dragon's Aura to go in.
They have scouted out the Baptiste here, forcing that out, and there's the headshot. And like we've been saying, that sustainability now gone with the Baptiste elimination. Kitsune Rush though can turn the tide here. Needs to watch though, Itachi here on the flank, getting so much damage in. Very deep push here, and kind of going to get Icebergs with that Blossom following up with Overmars. It's a messy fight, but it is slowly moving its way into the side of Dragon's Aura. Termi is going to go down, and I was going to get a touch here, but is unlikely to for the best.
Yeah, Meowth just sorting out the extra 2% there maybe for Deathwatch, which actually pushes them up almost to 1-fight territory here, Gio. Deathwatch just need to win this next one, and with both Grav, well, all 3, Grav, EMP, and Blossom coming up, Dragon's Aura is going to have a very tough time holding this. Meowth checked there by some stray shots by Kina, and we'll see Geodry going up here very aggressive with the Primal Light.
Yeah, gonna use that Primal early there. Very nice corner manipulation. UBL gonna go down to it. Very well used Primal Rage, and not often is a Primal Rage enough to win a fight out, but here it looks like it may just be as they clean up the rest of Dragon's Aura here on the point. Sorry, the rest of Deathwatch on the point.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, that single ult there, it seems to be enough there, and it looks like they have kind of realized that UBL does need to die early in these fights, constantly targeting the Baptiste first there. Overmars almost at that Blossom I was talking about, and here is that devastating EMP grab combination. There it comes, and there they go.
Yeah, very nice opening there. That EMP so deadly, that 40%. Is still in the game. That's a lot of damage boosted. 90% here for Deathwatch. Gonna be a panic retouch for Dragon's Aura.
Panic retouch here, and unfortunately that fight was that point was actually flipped before the point, before the fight had kind of ended. There's that Kitsune Rush, but Overmars is in the backline. No, Overmars, don't press Q2.
Well, that overclock was not going the way that Itachi wanted there. Overmars going to find that Lucio, who's very close to beat, so a very key ultimate gone in this fight. It's 99 to 99 again, and Deathwatch are looking like they're actually going to win this one out here on the Paul. Overmars very happy about that, and it will start with Deathwatch taking the lead 1-0.
Deathwatch taking the first map here in a very, very closely contested very closely contested map. We'll see Termi getting play of the game here as a lifesaver, apparently. But I will say Termi played that incredibly well, just soaking up the pressure from Dragon's Aura, and just Overmars being, I think maybe enabling Overmars, shall I say, a little right-click fadeaway there from them, just to get through there. But as you said, Gio, what a first map. I'm not going the distance, so it will show up as a 2-0, but that is definitely not what I'd consider a true 2-0 in my books.
Yeah, 99 fights for both of those points, and sure, it will show as 2 and it will show as a Death Watch point here in the full match. But as you said, absolutely not indicative of the play that we've seen. It's been so back and forth, so close that you really can't predict it, even with Death Watch taking this first map. Especially when control curse is a thing, right? Lots of teams have that control curse, yeah, where they lose control and then win everything else. So absolutely do not call this one early.
I've always been interested in that control curse, right? Because a lot of people look at it as the team loses the first one and then wins the rest of them. But what if, hear me out, right? What if it's the team that wins first, and then they're like, "Cool, we've got a good start here. Phew, let's get our breath back." And then from that, they don't get cocky. That's not what I'm saying. They don't get cocky, but maybe they get a little bit complacent.
Yes, it's definitely something to be concerned about. I myself have played in tournaments. I've coached a team in a tournament, and I've casted tournaments. I've been in every aspect of a tournament you can be.
You're a full circle.
Yeah, I've done the whole thing back to front, and I will say, yeah, it's very important that you don't get caught in your own hype. That every time I like it's like clockwork. It's like karma's waiting by the sideline. Every time I see a team get caught up in their own hype, start memeing hard in the chat, they start teabagging, they get caught out because they get too confident and they get absolutely blindsided by someone who just wants it more and is more focused. So yeah, I actually agree with your theory. I think it is more like maybe a lack of continuing to play at that level.
Well, yeah, let's hope for Deathwatch's sake that isn't the case, and for Dragon's Aura's sake that it is the case. As you see on screen now, our next map is Eichenwald, chosen by Dragon's Aura, and it looks like Deathwatch is allowing them to stay on defense. Obviously, will come up on the screen now. Apologies for the spoilers. My bad. But yeah, so this is a map that I think, if the composition, let's say the composition stays exactly the same, plays more into Dragon's Aura's strengths, with that Winston able to control high ground a lot more easier. Able to change between high ground and low ground a lot easier than a Zarya. But I mean, Deathwatch are a strong team. As I said, they've only lost one match so far. To Mathilda Kitsune in their previous matchup there in the first round of the playoffs. And obviously, we remains to be seen what we are expecting here. But Gio, quickly, what are you thinking?
If you're literally asking me what I'm thinking, wow, the lighting's so nice on this map.
Thank you. Exactly what I was asking.
Because I was thinking about that because obviously all the video package that we just saw is from Overwatch 1, and then it came here and it's much softer. It's nicer. It gives that kind of idea of that wistful nostalgia, which is
well,
what happened in an abandoned town. Yeah, like a fairy touch. But what we thinking here? Deathwatch threatening to come out for Bastion again.
Deathwatch threatening to come out with a Bastion, and Dragon's Aura not threatening, coming out with a Rein Junkrat on Eichenwald. Hey, it is Eichenwald first. It means that they are going to be funneled through two very small areas. Obviously deciding where they go. So that Junkrat actually could pay some dividends, and you were correct that Bastion is here to stay, apparently. So let's see what happens here, as it looks like Dragon's Aura are happy to give up quite a lot of space, and an anti-sleep there onto Geodry means that they're going to be so low here.
Yeah, when a protection Suzu and an immortality field doesn't save you, you know something's wrong. That's a lot of damage coming out from that Bastion. They need to watch out for it. And it's actually on the back flank there, going to get caught out. Now it's only the Junkrat of Anya and Akina. Suck on the point, sorry about that, saying your name wrong. Rein's come back though, and looking to turn it around. Unfortunately, they've been hacked, they've been antied. Um, only one thing away from being slapped, you know, the old main tank experience, and that's gonna be a nice fight win there for Deathwatch, getting first point in their first fight.
Yeah, they actually were slept there, by the way, just to make sure they experience the full main tank experience from Overwatch 1 there. And look at this aggressive push up here from Overmars and Termi on the top of Eichenwald here, just making sure that the D.Va switch now. Those switch over to the Winston briefly and now onto the D.Va, probably to deny that there and to get Psycho in control that I was talking about. We will see, yeah, very aggressive push here from Overmars with Meowth in the backline with that EMP actually being taken super low, so you're not going to be able to use it just yet. But the cart is moving now, and here comes Judry with a very aggressive push, but a very just as quick going back to their team, and looking like Deathwatch is very happy to just keep this payload as Overmars gets taken out.
Ooh, good opening pick, but this Graf could turn it all around. An Iceberg! Yeah, Dragon's Aura looking like the Titanics. The Titanic. Oh god, I ruined it. Now the D.Va actually back up. Although this is dangerous. Gonna get demacked, and now you're gonna get stalled out. Well, I guess you're not, but you could have been.
Could have been stalled out. True. Looking like Deathwatch is not taking the tournament jewel, taking the honorable jewel, shall we say? As Itachi comes through here, straight onto Iceberg in the backline, but that EMP catching 3.
Yeah, that was a massive EMP there by Meowth. Very good choice to just go for the support line up there, and any extras were nice. And they just cleaned that up so early, and it's a 5-minute time bank for us coming into this third point.
5 minutes on the last point of Eichenwald. I mean, look, the last point of Eichenwald is notoriously quite difficult to complete. A lot of teams getting stuck on this corner that we see Termi on here. See the dueling Sombras. Akina now switching over to take that duel, to decide to either check me out or go for the support of Deathwatch. Here comes a Nano Zarya though. That's terrifying for a D.Va.
Yeah, very much so, because you cannot D.Va Matrix the beam. That's the core issue. That's why it's the rock paper scissors scenario in the tank lineup right now. Meanwhile, it is the Sombra and Meowth just tearing it up. They're threatening to finish this map with a 4-minute 30 time bank. And if no one's going to stop them, they might just do that. Grab onto the Reinhardt. That's going to be bad for the defense. Coming in with that ultimate from the Bastion. Kitsune rushes there with a nanoed Reinhardt. That could be what saves it. But you walked away from the point. You got too eager.
Yeah, Georgie was way too focused there on killing their opposite tank. Got carried away and went off the point there. That is very, very unfortunate for Dragon's Aura there. 1 second too much on the time bank, unfortunately, for Deathwatch. Goodness.
You could have contested for 1 more second.
Goodness. Geodry throwing the game, throwing the time bank. Just terrible. I joke. That was a terrible situation for them to be in. If they set on cart, they get shot up by 4 players. If they chase around, they kill the Zarya. Maybe someone else comes back. So. Very hard to say that was the only thing. I mean, it's not hard to say. That was not the only thing that went wrong there for Dragon's Aura. Deathwatch showing that despite being Dragon's Aura's pick, they are definitely the stronger team on this map so far. Maybe a comp diff, maybe a communication diff, something there. But Dragon's Aura not looking as strong as they would like to. On this map. Not a good start for them.
Yeah, like, I feel like I say it so often, but like, at this level, do not jail yourself to meta. Just look at Deathwatch. Yeah. They're playing what they're comfortable with, and and look at it. It's got them so much here compared to Dragon's Aura, who are playing more meta adjacent compositions.
Well, sorry, what's that? It's actually not even meta adjacent. It's the current Owl meta, which is on a different patch.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so that maybe taking a little bit too much inspiration from teams like that. There is we'll see Overmars, who mirrors this Junkrat pick from Akina, and actually getting so much more value from it at the start of this fight. As we'll see, Dragon's Aura just backing off here. Geodry, I feel, is actually going to have a terrible time getting in here. Very much going to rely on Akina to check that Junkrat and maybe the Ana actually as well, before they can even like start to take space here.
Mm-hmm. That's very true. You see how distracted they are on the engage here, and that's just going to cause them so much trouble and get spammed down there by Overmars on the Junkrat, who's just going to blow up the tank. It doesn't matter how much armor you have. If you're not in a Juggernaut suit, it's not going to help you against Overmars, who is just blowing your team to smithereens. Tire ready, won't even need it for this fight. Look at this off angle from the Junkrat here, getting so much done. And even against Genji, is going to get too much done. But yeah, the switch on to Monkey, I like it from Jordy there. Is going to get the value. Attached here now has the space to work with. This is a great adaptation here from the tank of Dragon's Aura. Bomb sent in, and it will actually find the Lucio. No more speed now for the Winston, which is going to kind of struggle there with the follow-up. Let's see what this Tire is able to do. It's dancing, it's prancing, it's sniffing out its prey, and it finds two. That's the DPS wiped off the planet there. And Lucio now coming back has forced the EMP. And you know what? I'd be happy if I was the attacking team that we forced the EMP.
Okay, forced EMP, but also lost both support ults. Now that's, I think that's a bit of a mistake there from Sunderade. Not the best call. Maybe Fat Finger maybe thought it was winnable. Unfortunately, losing that there. I'm starting to wonder if maybe Jordy, Geodry, whichever one it is not just maybe just not a Zarya player. Doesn't feel comfortable in the hero, which fair enough. The dive is really good here, looking to punish that Karika in the background, at least make them teleport out here. There we will see it. And here comes an overclock from Itachi. They've been incredibly deadly on this hero so far, so let's see if they can keep it up.
Oh, but it's Overmars yet again. These wacky picks are coming up big for this player, as they're going to fight two there with each single use of the mine. And that's going to send the attacking team back home packing, thinking, how do we deal with this? How do we get in here? It's going to be a tough one.
It's going to be incredibly tough here. They did manage to get a tick from that previous fight there, but here's once again Jordy hacked up Tachia. There you go, getting that pick on Overmars. That was the opening pick they needed last time, and here comes a bomb and a Kitsune Rush in response.
Ooh, perfect pick there from Atachia, finding Iceberg. A lot of that healing now gone, but you don't have a tank, and that's very crucial. You only get one of those these days, so you've not lost one out of two, you've lost one out of one. Now, you see them being careful. 20 seconds on the bank here. Needs to be careful. Kind of playing a little forward here is the defense, trying to waste as much time. Here comes the Tire. Will they be aware of where it's coming from? Yes, it will be the Railgun finding it. That's a very keen pick there from Itachi. Now, that kunai to the skull of Meowth, who was very close to EMP, so it's a very keen pick, especially in terms of the ult economy. There is a nanoed Junkrat on the board right now, and that is Cookie, but it's also dangerous. The blade comes out. It's trying to turn it around here. Very low are the defenders. You can turn it around. The Genji goes down. Jordy on 1 health. Now it's only the Sojourn who can't touch.
Itachi was too low to touch there. Only on 20 health, waiting on one of their allies to make that first touch there. And that map seemed a lot more dominant from Deathwatch. So maybe something to bear in mind there from Dragon's Aura. Able to, like, Deathwatch are very able to adapt, as we'll see Overwatch with some over Mars with some fantastic Overwatch, what I was going for. Taking out the Tire and then 2 players from the opposing team, and a really good start there.
Yeah, incredible stuff from Deathwatch. It changed the pace completely from what we saw in Nepal. Nepal, very 50-50, very close, but now that Deathwatch are pulling out these kind of surprise comps, to bring a little cookie, a little wacky, a little unique, a little quirky.
You didn't.
Sorry, I'm
sorry.
I'm sorry.
You could have stopped there.
But yes, that is going to be now Deathwatch 2-0. Escort is next, but Escort is after a brief break. So don't go anywhere, folks, as Deathwatch, well, They're in the lead, but Dragon Zora, they could reverse sweep this. Don't go anywhere.
A Sojourn in place of a Sombra for Dragon Zora and a Zara in place of a Winston. Once again, Dragon Zora going super aggro there at the start.
Oh, and yeah, that Disruptor field is very lethal there. But you don't want to be going right into a Reaper if you're a Winston. Overmars is going to find Georgie. And hold on, the turnaround, the Reaper actually making this possible that this fight could swung. That fight is going to be begun here with a dive into the back line. That Ana is in a lot of trouble. UBL will go down, but Overmars is going to trade it out. Now, that Kariko, a little bit deep, will actually escape there. It's a little bit back and forth, the points being slowly switched, but you see the players of Dragon's Aura returning to the point to try and touch. They don't in time, and it's actually a Blossom invested there by Overmars to secure that fight.
I do stand to correction there. And yeah, as you said, at the start of the fight, they actually checked Meowth and got the Translocator, so forced Meowth out of the fight for a lot longer than would be than they would have liked there. But Meowth does now mean that there comes.
Oh, big EMP is gonna hit. Well, actually, just one player there. But the Blossom from a Canyon, that's what you want to see. Those Blossoms are so very brutal in this day and age.
They did use the Primal Rage getting burnt down there. We only really have the Casino Rush from the opposing side now, which looks like they're going to go straight to point and probably use that as soon as the team tries to aggress there. Itachi are taking care of UBL, but before they even need to do that, though.
Kitsune rush right into a Graviton Surge Blossom, though. That's not what they were looking for. Dragon's Aura fall apart. Death Watch with a single Blossom absolutely turn it apart. And Termi with a very good Graviton Surge.
So much more pressure for Dragon's Aura. I mean, from Death Watch, so I say, as they get into this fight here. Termi is holding up in charge.
Yeah, that extra sustainability is really going to help the Zarya unless they go too deep against Ankia. But that turnaround there by Overmars is going to allow this recontest here on the point. Dragon's Aura did have it kind of under wraps, but hold on. Tatchier is going to find the two eliminations very key here. What an incredible performance here by Tatchier finding... Yeah, that extra sustainability is really going to help the Zarya unless they go too deep against Ankia. But that turnaround there by Overmars is going to allow this recontest here on the point. Dragon's Aura did have it kind of under wraps, but hold on. Tatchier is going to find the two eliminations very key here. What an incredible performance here by Tatchier finding so many of these eliminations. Think if finding OBL, yeah, that's 4 eliminations there in that fight for Tat.
Quite soon, but will they check them again? No, didn't outside. We will see Geodry here positioning for this, being pressured a lot by Overmars though, as forced to jump out.
Yeah, that pressure is big against the Winston, especially with this Reaper from Overmars as they push forward. But again, with that Railgun, Itachi is on the next level right now, especially if this overclock popped here, looking to get the head there of UBL. Needs to watch out for this Blossom by Overmars. It is awesome. It's a
the DPS battle between Overmars and Itachi is such a key one to look out for at this point in time. Itachi, I mean, Overmars, shall I say, in quite an interesting position there for a Reaper that doesn't have Blossom, that has just used their Blossom. Maybe getting ready for the grab here from Termi as the team comes through. So anything I can really imagine does happen here. And let's see if they do it. They just rush straight through, and there's Itachi here once again with an opening pick.
That grab into EMP combo, very strong.
That's by Kina. And we'll see Geodry going up here very aggressive with the Primal Light.
Yeah, gonna utilize that Primal early there. Very nice corner manipulation. UBL gonna go down to it. Very well used Primal Rage, and not often is a Primal Rage enough to win a fight out, but here it looks like it may just be as they clean up the rest of Dragon's Aura here on the point. Sorry, the rest of Deathwatch on the point.
Seems to be enough there, and it looks like they have kind of realized that a UBL does need to die early in these fights, constantly targeting the Baptiste first there. Overmars almost at that Blossom I was talking about, and here is that devastating EMP grab combination. There it comes, and there they go.
Yeah, very nice opening there. That EMP so deadly, that 40% is still in the game. It's a lot of damage boosted, 90% here.
Before the point, before the fight had kind of ended, there's that Kitsune rush, but Overmars is in the backline. No, Overmars, don't press Q50.
Well, that overclock was not going the way that Itachi wanted there. Overmars going to find that Lucio, who's very close to beat, so a very key ultimate gone in this fight. It's 99 to 99 again, and Deathwatch are looking like they're actually going to win this one out here on the pole. Overmars very happy about that, and it will start with Death.
Very just as quick going back to their team, and looking like Deathwatch is very happy to just keep this payload as Overmars gets taken out.
Ooh, good opening pick, but this grab could turn it all around. An iceberg. Yeah, Dragon's Aura looking like the Titanic. Oh god, I ruined it. Now the Diva actually back up. Although this is dangerous. Gonna get demeched, and now you're gonna get stalled out. Well, yes, you're not, but you could have been. Diva actually back up. Although this is dangerous. Gonna get demeched, and now you're gonna get stalled out. Well, yes, you're not, but you could have been.
Could have been stalled out. True. Looking like Deathwatch is not taking the tournament jewel, taking the honorable jewel, shall we say? As Itachi comes through here, straight onto Iceberg in the backline, but that EMP catching 3.
Yeah, that was a massive EMP there by Meow. Rock, paper, scissors scenario in the tank lineup right now. Meanwhile, it is the Sombra and Meow just tearing it up. They're threatening to finish this map with a 4-minute 30 time bank, and if no one's going to stop them, they might just do that. Grab onto the Reinhardt. That's going to be bad for the defense. Coming in with that ultimate from the Bastion. Kitsune rushes there with a nanoed Reinhardt. That could be what saves it, but you walked away from the point. You got too eager. Monkey, I like it from Jordy there. Is going to get the value attached here. Now has the space to work with. This is a great adaptation here from the tank of Dragon's Aura. Bomb sent in, and it will actually find the Lucio. No more speed now for the Winston, which is going to kind of struggle there with the follow-up. Let's see what this tire is able to do. It's dancing, it's prancing, it's sniffing out its prey, and it finds 2. Wherever it's coming from, yes, it will be the railgun finding it. That's a very keen pick there from Itachi. Now, that kunai to the skull of Meowth, who was very close to the EMP, so it's a very keen pick, especially in terms of the ult economy. There is a nanoed Junkrat on the board right now, and that is Cookie, but it's also dangerous. The blade comes out, it's trying to turn it around here. Very low are the defenders. You can turn it around. The Genji goes down.
Pretty much mirrored comps here. We see a Sojourn in place of a Sombra for Dragon's Aura, and a Zarya in place of a Winston. Once again, Dragon's Aura going super aggro there at the start.
Oh, and yeah, that Disruptor field is very lethal there. But you don't want to be going right into a Reaper if you're Winston. Hello and welcome back, folks. After the break, it is standing at 2 for Deathwatch and 0 for Dragon's Aura. Can this be the time for Dragon's Aura to dig deep within themselves, get their heels into the dirt, and get this reverse sweep? Or are Deathwatch going to sweep this one clean and start to look like they're on their track back to the champions? Bracket thing.
The final is the word you were looking for.
Yes, thank you.
Final. the lower bracket final, and then the final.
Oh
So,
boy. It's
I'm
been a
next
long
mad.
day, okay? I was at uni all day, I was studying. My brain isn't here.
Like man, I've been watching Overwatch League until like 1 in the morning, and then waking up at 6 for work. It's entirely my own fault, entirely self-inflicted.
Yeah.
But like obviously I have to watch the Overwatch. It's just the law.
It's kind of
the
in the
law.
law at the moment. I will say it's been quite fun. I haven't been one that watches it like a lot. I'm not like a religious watcher. I'm more likely to watch a Tranquility stream than I am an Overwatch League stream, or other brands available. But of course, I won't name them here.
You would plug another stream on Tranquility.
Yeah, I'm not gonna plug someone else's stream here. I'm not confident enough yet. I've not been around long enough to get away with something like that. I don't think.
Yeah, you're right there. I mean, like there's Overwatch League, which is great to have on in the background, if nothing else, to get those tokens. But yeah, as you said, nice to watch smaller tournaments and even contenders, smaller tournaments such as Tranquility. And speaking of Tranquility, let's get into it, Gio, for Circuit Royale, our third and potentially final map here.
Mhm.
This map should lend itself to a bit of a different style than we've seen. Both teams favoring the more brawly slash like divey comps, and Poke being incredibly strong here. Let's see if this does fit more into Dragon's Aura's playstyle. Once again, this being their map choice. And could this be the start of a reverse sweep, or is this going to be a full 3-0 sweep from Death?
Well, you've had the break. They've had a chance to regroup, reassess. I certainly think that it is possible for them to bring this one back. If any team can, it will be Dragon's Aura. Of course, the dragon is such a storied and mythological creature that, in many different cultures, of course, the Western four-legged, winged, red-scaled beast that the knights have to defeat, and in, of course, more Eastern cultures, it's a more kind of metaphorical thing, like with the Shimada brothers. I just started rambling there. I forgot my point. But yes, I think it can be. This is a map that doesn't really do well with Junkrat or Bastion, so they're in the clear.
Yeah, I'd like to introduce you to Rowan, who would probably disagree with you.
That is true.
Scourge of Masters Scrims EU. But no, I do agree with you. I think this is a map that doesn't favor the more broadly style of Deathwatch as much, and it really does favor the Sojourn and the one-shot potential that Itachi has been so strong with. As we'll see some beautiful music there coming from Meow. Itachi has been so strong on the Sojourn, and if they can pop off, if they can keep me out, then Cheku will no doubt be on the backline permanently. Dipsax and Sandore gonna brew the day that Meowth was born. Yeah, we'll see how they manage to finish out there. As goes for a hack onto Akina and gets the kill.
That's such a keen elimination. That hack boost obviously helping out in that, but mainly the pinging. Pinging is so overpowered in Overwatch 2, really. Communication is such an integral part of this game, and you're just witnessing what it can do. That invisible character able to scout without any repercussions, it's so strong. And now the Sigma is just going to get taken out here as Ronan the Barbarian is rolling here on the Winston.
Yeah, that's a starting pick there onto Akina, who actually switches over to the Reaper now to make Ronan's dives a little bit more punishing. I think they do manage to recontest. I was going to say, I don't think they recontest, but they do, and let's see if it pays off for them. Akina going to dive in as Dipsax get taken out by a Dynamite.
Yeah, Overmars there on the Ash, really controlling the field here. the space created from Ronan is enough to really let Overmars sit back and with the pocket get these eliminations. Although the skill ball from Moira will get rid of the Mercy, it's not enough to switch this over. Now 5 minutes going into second. Deathwatch are looking scary.
Deathwatch are looking scary, making sure that Dragon's Aura watch their death cams over and over again. Um, we will see Geordie and the rest of Dragon's Aura just regrouping up here. I think a very smart move not to peek into the ash of Overmars and the rest of the team, obviously. And here they go, a very good start here. Immediately turning around from the out, though, so that momentum that they kind of had there immediately dissipated as the Winston trade jumping into the backline.
Yeah, jumping to the back line, but it's actually the Reaper going to be fading away. Tatchier is in the lobby, folks, and that just means the heads are coming off of shoulders. As, you know, struggling to get this Ana who's getting pocketed by the Valking Mercy, but will in the end get it, and they have held out here. Now this is a pretty good position to be holding on the defense.
And speaking of good positions, Meowth once again doing that invisible scouting you've been talking about, just on the overlook there above them. We will see here. I hope that Dragon's Aura goes aggressive here, because that is pretty much their only win condition this next one, as there comes the EMP too late already.
Oh, that overclock headshot to Overmars. Nasty. And Tatchier is absolutely dominating the fight. Oh boy, when you have someone as keenly accurate with good mechanics like this on your Sojourn, then you know you can just create the space and just watch the mayhem unfold. This is incredibly deep to follow up on Meowth, and might rue the day that they went this deep.
Yeah, I mean, they really did chase Meowth there, and the fact that Meowth got out is actually insane. We will see a nanoed Winston diving in here as Geordie kind of trades into the back of the bit. Once again, Itachi finding the opening.
Yeah, Tatchier again onto the Ana of all picks is very crucial. It's going to get res though, which will put the advantage now in the attacking team, as Ronan will now find that Moira. And the fight's still going on now, just cleaning up the monkey, and yeah, the attacking team are moving forward, but the defenders have really burned this time bank away.
Yeah, that already well spotted, well timed dive, shall I say, from Ronan there. Noticing that Dragon's Aura were all out of position after that chasing of Meowth got away. I think Meowth's actually on 0 deaths in the last like 2 maps. It's probably a lie, but it feels like it. And here comes that Kitsune Rush, and Iceberg and UBL is quite a spot of bother.
A spot of bother indeed. Ankenya, I'll never say your name right now, I'm sorry. The Reaper is doing very well on this side of Dragon's Aura. And yeah, that's gonna pretty much hold in here.
Does a Kina or a Kaina sound better to you, Gio? Pick one of those. I think that'll be to your benefit there. But
yes, that would
a
be.
player whose name is probably a little bit more familiar, being Meowth, named after the Pokemon. Once again on that EMP, Overmars and Iceberg all come after the thing, as we'll see Ronan diving into the backline here. Doesn't have as much help as they would until Bob arrives on the field and EMP from Meowth.
Yeah, incredibly well scouted, incredibly well executed. That EMP comes up huge, and Akina tries to turn it around, but will get shut down. Meowth just filling that kill feed.
And Meowth filling the kill feed there, getting all the final blows there. I mean, after setting up the whole thing, pretty much deserved, I'd say. And once again, flying around the outside here to do some scouting, to go be that mosquito in Dragon's Aura's ears. Yeah, the Sombra play so far, I think, has been such a big difference maker. We'll see sitting in the backline here. It's detected.
Yeah, they can see Meowth right now. What is going on? Well, they're actually rushing the front line, and like the tip of the spear was the coalescence, which doesn't quite work out because you want to be healing and damaging at the same time, and yeah, gonna get taken out. Bit of a strange push there by the defense, but hey, who am I to say? It seems to be working out a little bit here. Rico is gonna go a little low though, needs to be careful. It's a brawly fight here between these two teams, and it is working out. The defense are holding in. 2 minutes on the board.
Yeah, a very interesting decision there, as you say, to have the Moira in the front line. But as you said, I mean, who are we to question it if it works? We leave it. Itachi taking out Meowth, so that is a big punish there. But as I said, Overmars does take out Itachi, making this a pretty even fight.
Yeah, you see this aggressive tendency from the defense now, and this is exactly what I love to see. I often find aggression is the best defense, but it hasn't worked out this time. In fact, yeah, Dragon's Aura falling apart there on that push, now going to be on the back foot.
Yeah, on the back foot, as we'll see, Deathwatch pushing around into this last straightaway. A very strong position for Itachi, who does have that overclock. So all eyes going to be on Meowth to shut that down. They did such a good job so far to do that. And scouting up into the backline here, Itachi is hacked, but immediately Kitsune Toriko cleansed. But yeah, a lot of pressure on them as the rest of the team takes care of Deathwatch.
Yeah, when you lose your healers, there ain't much to do about it. No more healing. Now we're approaching that final fight territory, Frost, and how's this shaping up?
I mean, shaping up, looking pretty good, I'd say, for Deathwatch. Having won VC9, that Akina, you noticed this, brother. Yeah, they are here. All is good. Okay. Very good choice there from Meowth to actually do that. Now draws them out of position and means that they can probably just do it again. But as I was saying, the EMP and the Bob coming through here, but into the Kitsune rush from Dragon's Aura immediately punished there as Dipsax.
Yeah, the Kitsune rush comes out, but you do have to respect it still. Itachi are going to find elimination. UBL also going to go down. Now, you do have that res available, but not if Iceberg goes down here. You really need to be protecting your Mercy in this moment. Meowth will find Akina. Iceberg will go down, so yeah, no res available, no healing available. Deathwatch are in a bit of a predicament here if they want to be getting this all the way. Overmars trying to help turn it around here, trying to get those eliminations, and they do find it onto the monkey there. Thatcher though turning it around. Meowth again. Big boop is actually going to boop the Blossom into Meowth. I think that was a bit unfortunate. Now it's just the Lucio on point, and they will not secure that third point.
Yeah, that boop, I mean, we say it killed Meowth. I think Meowth is dropping into that fight anyway. Probably just put Akina into Meowth's face as opposed to being at their toesies. Yeah, Deathwatch almost completing this map, which actually is, as with Eichenwald, a notoriously hard map to complete. Probably a lot more so Circuit Royale. As I was saying, this last straightaway is a very, very hard push, especially with the long sightlines that the defenders have on the first corner, on the second corner that you get here, and on that last point there. I still think a very good job by Deathwatch, but I think this is an incredibly good point for the psyche of Dragon's Aura. Not allowing that full cap there. Overmars starting on the Torbjorn. We've seen Overmars with some wacky picks so far. I'm a big fan of this Geo. I'm sure you are as well. But this is something I like to see, and probably a very good. Good deterrent for that Winston. Looks like that's what kind of they're going for, a full anti-Winston comp with Brig, Torb, and Orisa.
Deathwatch like to be a little bit kooky and crazy, and Orisa, is more of a pub stomper than a scrim stomper, but Deathwatch, they've had their silliness and it's worked for them in the past.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, you'd expect Dragon's Aura probably hasn't scrimmed against this. Or if they have, it would have been like a more of a less practiced kind of thing. Yeah, we'll see both teams just trading blows here. Meowth getting a hack, just being annoying in the backline there, forcing everyone to turn around for them once again. I think just playing this so well. Itachi there getting hacked up, but immediately Suzu'd. And yeah, there's Meowth out. But when will this dive happen onto Deathwatch? Doesn't need to happen apparently. Itachi takes off UBL's head.
Yeah, waiting for that pick from Itachi is a very valid strat, especially because they've done it so often here. Akina now finding Meowth in that fight also as Deathwatch starting to fall apart. That's the problem with the Orisa. Sure, the Orisa survives, but if they know not to focus the Orisa, everyone around them will just fade away before their very eyes.
Yeah, and I think Dragon's Aura played that perfectly. They spotted the Orisa and said, okay, cool, we're just going over you. Itachi there getting the opening frag again onto the most important player of the team, the Torbjorn turret. and using that disruptor field just to deny that positioning there. I think this actually will be a cap for Dragons, or I take that back. I mean, Orisa will contest, but here's Itachi in the backline. Maybe in a spot of bother with Meow? No, not really. Here comes the fight kicking off in earnest, and looks like the supports from Deathwatch are going to be a lot safer than they were last fight. I say that.
Yeah, you say that, but if you stand still slightly when you're next to Itachi, that's not going to go quite well because your head isn't going to be attached to your shoulders for very much longer. Yeah, you like that, you like that. Itachi doesn't like this, behind enemy lines. This is not a great position. Wait, Rico's went behind them. Now the Overclock coming out is going to find the turret, so not too much yet, but that damage onto the defenders there is a valid thing, but there's that Orisa all pulling them in, and those globules of molten core energy going to be taking them out as we get quite an artistic shot right now of what's going on, and Overmars cleans it up.
I was gonna say, I think if you're Dragons Aura, you actually want to back out of this. I think you'd be happy with the trades. They're taking all the ults, but committing that Moira ult there, I think may have been a bit of an overcommitment, especially when you didn't even have your tank with you. Ronan is just getting pocketed from high ground by UBL, who just hasn't really been challenged. Itachi was there for a time, but obviously had to go. Well, decided to drop more towards the point, try and punish Ronan's positioning, and didn't really work out for them. But as I said, Dragons Aura, I think you're still happy with this, considering there are 3 ults on your side and only 1 from Deathwatch.
And that's a great opener. Meowth goes out as the body shot from the railgun hits. Nano comes out onto Ronan there to keep them alive, but the dive is just going to jump right past the Orisa into the backline, dealing with what's behind, and they are going to find Overmars. You can see again, Itachi able to just go around the Orisa. Orisa is just a part of the environment, really, and you can just go around and get rid of the rest of the team. That's what I'm saying. The pick has got some value, but not if you're just ignored by the enemy.
Yeah, speaking of ignored by the enemy, UBL there stayed alive that entire fight, not really under as much scrutiny as I would argue is beneficial from Dragons Aura there. Jodri, whatever, whichever one it is, I'm just going to say Jodri, that's what's written on screen, dived up there, but then decided to leave UBL, and who just returned to their position there. Meowth taken out here, which is really good. Dragons Aura have started punishing that Sombra for their Hubris here. Another ult from Ronan, and Akina though.
Oh, that's a big blossom there. Dragons Aura coming up big there. Of course, that's what you want to see from your Reaper player, and this is very, very deep, pushing them all the way back to that 3rd point, and you know, this is getting them good space, but long form they can't really sustain here.
Yeah, they can't really sustain, especially with Sanderade on the payload. Sanderade stayed on the payload the entire time, only with 1 player, and that point being surprisingly a lot longer than you'd think. Here comes the Kitsune Rush though. Hopefully this can seal through that as UBL takes that dipsides.
Yeah, that's a big starting pick there. That Kiriko down, but they did get the Kitsune Rush, so can be used by the legs of Itachi here. Overmars finding the Winston is pretty much going to secure it for the defense here, unless, you know, the DPS can come up big. Akina and Itachi are still in this one, but no, will go down now to the Torb yet again. And I gotta say, this Torb pick is really working in places for Deathwatch.
And yeah, it just creates another off angle for you. I mean, Itachi and the rest of the gang are taking care of it really easy. I mean, they're using the railgun, I think might have been a bit of a mistake, but you know, whatever. And it just seems like Dragons Aura, like, they're ignoring their Orisa sometimes, and when they do, they win the fight, but every now and then they forget. And they're like, oh yes, of course. The Orisa, we should kill her. Itachi is starting off once again.
And Meowth though is coming up big in the backline, finding both supports, and that follow-up is going to clean it. 1 minute on the board now for Dragons Aura attack.
1 minute on the board and no ults to speak of. UBL once again has that nano there. And if you look at UBL's positioning, just so far back, just out of the fight completely. And yeah, I just feel like Jodri has this opportunity to dive the backline there, even if their team, like, you know, ends up finding that you've taken out that big healing from the Ana. And I feel like that's enough value, really. We will see UBL a little bit further forward here than last time. Meowth getting checked up there, and a bit of a distraction once again. But let's see if Jordy can actually dive through this here, ignore the Orisa, and go straight onto that Ana. We'll see a Ronin opening up with that result and paying for his life.
Yeah, that's not gonna get too much value in a setting where there's so many movement-based characters. Ronin will go down to attach here, and Primal Rage of Jordy, sorry, it needs to be careful. Is going to get back, get that healing. Akina has the Blossom if needed here as the recontest comes in from the defense, utilizing the Nano onto the Torb. He's Swedish, and here is an EMP also. Oh, it's a disaster for the attacking team. Dragon's Aura, they didn't get the Blossom in time. The EMP came in clutch, and Deathwatch are gonna win this one 3-2-0 here.
Deathwatch, an incredibly strong performance there. I will say Dragon. Oh no!
They
Yeah,
fixed it. They fixed that one. It used to be bugged.
That's good. Yeah, this is that fight Meowth just popped off there. I mean, I say that fight as though it didn't happen all the time. Meowth, an incredibly key part of Deathwatch, it would seem, on the Sombra. I bet, depending if they like Sombra, obviously loving their life right now. If they don't like Sombra, probably cannot wait for November 15th when they can finally get off the hero. It'll depend on the player there. But I will say, it just looked like Deathwatch knew their comp strengths. You know, if they want to go past the Orisa, they're going to have to commit a lot of cooldowns to get to me, says UBL. And the Orisa goes, yeah, that's perfect. I'm happy to sit you. I know you hit your shots. I probably hit my shots as well. And if they want to get on you, that's okay. They can go there. I'll focus on their back.
This is a story of vengeance incarnate, of Deathwatch proving that they are in this losers bracket by chance, and they are going to be looking to just chomp through everyone in their path on their way back to that grand finals. And if anyone can make that loser bracket run, it is Deathwatch, because you never really know what they're going to pull out. They have a very wide arsenal of heroes that are a little bit wacky, a little bit kooky, but at the end of the day, it's winning them the maps.
It is. I'm not gonna lie to you. Until now, I heard when you said like a little kooky, I heard it as cookie. So I was wondering why you were calling all their comps cookie, and I was like, you know, fair enough. You know, just Scottish things. Am I right? So I'm glad I finally figured that out. No, but yeah, as you said, Deathwatch, they're happy to play you know, this wacky style of Overwatch. And as I was saying, they play a style of comp, and it looks like they know how to play that style of comp. You know, they play a brawly style, they play a divey style, you know, and they make some arbitrary adaptations within that, and they make it work for them. They just seem to understand their players and the way that that they play the comps really well. I don't want to take anything away from Dragon's Aura though. Being given the second chance, unfortunately losing to Deathwatch though, putting up a really, really good fight, will wipe Eichenwaldt from the memory banks. I think that was quite a harsh one there from Deathwatch onto Dragon's Aura. But the other two maps, I will say, looked pretty even, but Deathwatch just looked a little cleaner.
Yeah. Well, that was the story of today, and that's the end of tonight's EU broadcast here in the Discord tier. And yeah, Deathwatch will be having a disco tonight. Or maybe they're really focused on the next map. I don't know them. I don't know your vibe. But congratulations on the victory, and condolences to Dragon's Aura, who are no longer in Uncle the 9. But you know, it's a decent run. You know, made it into playoffs and, you know, got to this point. But alas, my name's Hunjio. I've been with Prostitute. And thank you, Dan, for producing also. And this has been your Tranquility Broadcast. Don't forget to laugh loud and love yourself, folks. Good night.
Gets the kill.
That's such a keen elimination. That hack boost obviously helping out in that, but mainly the pinging. Pinging is so overpowered in Overwatch 2, really. Communication is such an integral part of this game, and you're just witnessing what it can do. That invisible character able to scout without any repercussions, it's so strong. And now this segment is just going to get taken out here as we're
How to make Ronan's dive is a little bit more punishing. I think they do manage to recontest. I was going to say I don't think they recontest, but they do, and let's see if it pays off for them. Akina going to dive in as Dipsax gets taken out by a dynamite.
Yeah, Overmars there on the Ash, really controlling the field here. The space created from Ronan is enough to really let Overmars sit back, and with the pocket, get these eliminations. Although the skill ball from Moira will get rid of the Mercy, it's not in.
Big fun as there comes the EMP too late already. Oh,
Oh, that overclock headshot to Overmars, nasty, and Itachier is absolutely dominating the fight. Oh boy, when you have someone as keenly accurate with good mechanics like this on your Sojourn, then you know you can just create the space and just watch the mayhem unfold. This is incredibly deep to follow up on Meowth and might rue the
Dragons Aura were all out of position after that chasing of Meowth got away. I think Meowth's actually had 0 deaths in the last like 2 maps. It's probably a lie, but it feels like it. And here comes that Kitsune Rush and Iceberg and UBL and it's quite a spot of bother.
A spot of bother indeed. Ankenya, I'll never say your name right now, I'm sorry. The Reaper is doing very well on this side of Dragon's Aura. And
pick one of those. I think that'll be to your benefit there. But
yes, that would
a
be.
player whose name is probably a little bit more familiar, being Meowth, named after the Pokemon. Once again, on that EMP, Overmars and Iceberg all come up to the thing, as we'll see Ronan diving into the backline here. Doesn't have as much help as they would until Barber arrives on the field and EMP from Meowth.
Yeah, incredibly well scouted, incredibly well executed. That EMP comes up huge, and Akina tries to turn it around.
As you said, I mean, who are we to question it if it works? We leave it. Itachi taking out Meowth, so that is a big punish there. But as I said, that Overmars does take out Itachi, making this a pretty even fight.
Yeah, you see this aggressive tendency from the defense now, and this is exactly what I love to see. I often find aggression is the best defense, but it hasn't worked out this time. In fact, yeah, Dragon's Aura falling apart there on that push, now going to Healsberg will go down, so yeah, no res available, no healing available. Deathwatch are in a bit of a predicament here if they want to be getting this all the way. Overmars trying to help turn it around here, trying to get those eliminations, and they do find it onto the monkey there. Thatcher though, turning it around. Meowth again. Big boop is actually going to boop the Blossom into Meowth, I think. That was a bit unfortunate. Now it's just the Lucio on point, and they will not secure that third point.
Immediately Suzud. And yeah, there's Meowth out, but when will this dive happen onto Deathwatch? Doesn't need to happen apparently. The Itachi takes off UBL's head.
Yeah, waiting for that pick from Itachi is a very valid strat, especially because they've done it so often here. Akina now finding Meowth in that fight also, as Deathwatch starting to fall apart. That's the problem with the Orisa. Sure, the Orisa survives, but if they know not to focus the Orisa, everyone around them will just fade away before they're
that disruptor field just to deny that that positioning there. I think this actually will be a cap for Dragons, or I take that back. I mean, Orisa will contest, but here's Itachi in the backline. Maybe in a spot of bother with Meowth? No, not really. Here comes the fight kicking off in earnest, and looks like the supports from Deathwatch are going to be a lot safer than they were last fight. I say that.
Yeah, you say that, but if you stand still slightly when you're next to Itachi, that's not going to go quite well because your head isn't going to be attached to your shoulders.
We just returned to their position there. Meowth taken out here, which is really good. Dragon's Aura have started punishing that Sombra for their Hubris here. Another ult from Ronan and Akina though.
Oh, that's a big Blossom there. Dragon's Aura coming up big there. Of course, that's what you want to see from your Reaper player, and this is very, very deep, pushing them all the way back to that third point, and you know, this is getting them good, really working in places for Deathwatch.
And yeah, it just creates another off angle for you. I mean, Itachi and the rest of the gang are taking care of it really easy. I mean, they're using the railgun, I think might have been a bit of a mistake, but you know, whatever. And it just seems like Dragons Aura, like, they're ignoring their Orisa sometimes, and when they do, they win the fight, but every now and then they forget. And they're like, oh yes, of course. The Orisa, we should kill her. Itachi is starting off once again. I mean, they're using the railgun, I think might have been a bit of a mistake, but you know, whatever. And it just seems like Dragons Aura, like they're ignoring their Orisa sometimes, and when they do, they win the fight. But every now and then they forget, and they're like, oh yes, of course, the Orisa, we should kill her. Itachi is starting off once again.
And Meowth, though, is coming up big in the backline, fighting both supports, and that follow-up is going to clean it. 1 minute on the board now. That's not going to get too much value in a setting where there's so many movement-based characters. Ronin will go down to Itachi here, and Primal Rage of Jordy, sorry, needs to be careful. Is going to get back, get that healing. Akina has the Blossom if needed here as the recontest comes in from the defense, utilizing the Nano onto the Torb. He's Swedish, and here is an EMP also. Oh, it's a disaster for the attacking team.
Akina and gets the kill.
That's such a key elimination.